Kung may isang level na pwedeng magbago ng buong story ni Bitcoin ngayon, ito na yon, ang key area of 74,500. Kasi kahit bumabawi na si BTC after nung drop, maraming holders ang nakaipit pa rin sa loss at may isang profitability line na kapag na-reclaim ng bulls, pwedeng mag-shift ang bear market vibes papunta sa recovery mode. Ngayon, i-breakdown natin kung bakit sobrang critical ng level na ito, ano ang kailangan makita para masabing legit ang reclaim at anong adoption metrics ang dapat mong bantayan habang chop pa ang price. At kung interesado kayo sa ganitong mga content, token reviews, crypto news, anything related to crypto, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Umpisahan natin sa current setup. Bitcoin rebounded around 7.45% in the last 2 days matapos bumagsak sa 62,400 noong Tuesday. Importante yung drop na yon kasi bumaba siya below a key on-chain price support. Pero ang crucial detail, nakabawi siya and managed to reclaim a major threshold by the daily close. Meaning hindi totally na-confirm yung breakdown kaya merong bounce. Pero bounce alone is not the end of the bear market. Ang totoong test na sinasabi ng ilan ay nasa taas pa, yung cost basis ng malaking chunk ng holders na bumili between 6 months to 2 years ago. At ang average cost na ito ay nakaupo malapit sa 74,500. Ngayon, this level becomes the inflection level. Parang gate siya. Kapag hindi mo mabuksan, maraming supply ang pwedeng magbenta. Kapag nabuksan mo, pwedeng mag-ibang market structure. Bakit sobrang big deal ang cost basis at realized price? Imagine ang realized price is basically the average on-chain acquisition cost ng certain group of coins na nakabase sa age bands. Meaning, kailan last gumalaw yung coins on-chain. Para sa mga coins na nag-age 18 to 24 months, yung realized level ay nasa bandang 64,200. Noong Tuesday, tinest ni Bitcoin yung zone na yan at na-reclaim by daily close. Bakit importante? Kasi ang mga cost basis level ay nag-a-act like psychological pivots. Kapag ang price ay nasa ilalim, investors are in unrealized loss. Kapag nasa loss ang crowd, mas mataas ang risk mag-distribute sila kapag may konting rally. Kasi gusto nilang makalabas near break-even. Pero kapag ang price nasa taas ng cost basis, nababawasan ang stress. Lumalakas ang confidence at madalas itong nag-e-encourage ng reaccumulation instead of panic selling. Pero sabi nga, ang mas malaking pivot is not just 18 to 24 months. Kapag pinalawak natin sa 6 months to 2 years cohort, makakapture natin yung mga investors from the prior cycles, consolidations in breakout phases. Meaning, ang grupo na ito ay malaki. Importante ito kasi nakaupo sila sa malaking supply. And the realized price for this cohort ay malapit sa 74,500 which is medyo mataas pa sa current price. So habang nasa ilalim si BTC, this cohort is underwater in aggregate. Ito yung part na maraming tao nalilito. May metric na tinatawag na MVRV for the cohort na maikukumpara natin sa market value to realized value. Ngayon, it's around 0.88. Kapag below 1, ibig sabihin the group is holding at a loss on average. So nung bumagsak si Bitcoin below 74,500, nag-flip into unrealized losses ang cohort. And that level instantly becomes a profitability threshold. In other words, 74,500 level is not just resistance line sa chart. It's the break-even wall ng maraming holders. Kapag bumalik ang price sa ibabaw nito and stays there, big chunk of that cohort returns to profit. At kapag nasa profit na ulit sila, dalawang bagay usually ang nangyayari. Number 1, less urgent selling to escape at break even kasi hindi na sila desperate. Number 2, demand can start to dominate because sellers who were waiting to dump at entry price ay magdadalawang isip na habang ang mga new buyers gain confidence. Kaya ang reclaim sa area na yon could change everything. So anong meaning ng decisive reclaim dito? Hindi lang weak, hindi lang quick spike tapos balik ulit. Ang context is sustained moves above 74,500 meaning dapat yung price can hold and accept above that cost basis. Kapag nangyari yan, sell side pressure from the 6 to 2 year holders can ease kasi hindi na sila nakalos and that can open the door for the next liquidity zone. At base sa supply map idea, kapag nga ang cohort na ito ay nag-flips to profit, the market attention can shift upward toward liquidity near 100,000. Kasi if supply between 74,500 and 100,000 ay nagsimulang numipis, mas madali yung path upward. Hindi ibig sabihin diretso 100,000 bukas, but it means the market structure become less heavy. heavy. Ngayon, i-connect na natin sa mga long-term holders behavior. May on-chain supply data na nagpapakita na yung long-term holder balance is back near 14 million BTC, around 13.96 million dati. Bumaba pa yan to multi-year low around November 21, 2025. Ang recovery sa age supply ay may pahiwatig. Despite volatility, maraming coins ang natutulog pa rin, hindi gumagalaw, dormancy. Ito yung tinatawag na stabilizing factor kasi kung ang long-term holders nag-hold, mas konti ang forced supply na tumatama sa market. At ito ang key logic. If the 6-month to 2-year cohort chooses to hold and absorb selling near their average entry price, ang supply na nakaupo between 74,500 to 100,000 ay ninipis ng mabilis. That's why reclaim plus holding behavior matters together. Reclaim without absorption is weak. Absorption without reclaim is low. Pero kapag yung dalawa na yan ay nag-align, the bear market can transition into early recovery. Pero kailangan din natin maging honest sa capital flow. Kasi dito madalas nadadali ang mga tao sa hopium. May metric na tinatawag na realized cap na sinusukat ang aggregate value ng coins based on their last on-chain movement price. Sa kasalukuyan, it's holding near cycle high. Pero yung rate of expansion ay bumagal. The realized cap net position change has compressed toward neutral, near 0%. Meaning capital inflows are negligible sa ngayon, hindi pa bumabalik yung fresh money. And historically, late bear market phases ay madalas nagpapakita ng flat or contracting realized cap. Ang early recoveries ay nagsisimulang maging stable before acceleration. So anong confirmation ang mas gusto nating makita? A renewed expansion in net position change back toward 2 to 4% range. Kapag bumalik yan, mas magiging malinis ang sign na ang fresh capital ay pumapasok na ulit and accumulation is rising. In short, price reclaim isang signal lang yon, pero ang capital flow acceleration is the confirmation layer. Sa kabilang banda naman, habang si Bitcoin ay naglalaro ang price between 60,000 to 70,000 range for about 22 days pagkatapos ng 35% drop between January and February. At habang ang price ay mukhang boring sa paningin ng marami or choppy, sa ilalim nito may mga signals na gumagalaw in different directions. Una yung ETF flows. The 90-day rolling average ng US spot Bitcoin ETF net flow is negative, minus $2.18 billion. In the past 2 years, naging negative lang siya twice. One period around March to May noong 2025 at itong current stretch na nagsimula noong December 11, 2025. At sa parehong instances, Bitcoin followed with a corrective phase. Bakit? Simple. Kapag ang rolling average turns negative, mas maraming pera ang lumalabas kesa pumapasok over a longer period. So nababawasan yung buying pressure, humihina ang overall demand na nagiging dahilan para ang price ay hindi makaangat ng mataas. So anong gustong makita ng bulls dito? A move back above zero, then steady inflow. Kasi ang sustained positive readings tend to align with stronger price action in improving liquidity. Pangalawa, whales. Merong framework na natatrack ang 1-year change in total whale holdings versus its 365-day moving average. Sinasabi sa data na ang mga addresses na may hawak na 1,000 to 10,000 BTC ay nagdagdag ng more than 200,000 BTC between June and November 2023 habang ang price was ranging around 25 to 30,000. At ito yung pattern. Kapag ang raw 1-year change crosses above its 365-day average, ibig sabihin nito whales are accumulating faster than their longer-term trend. Ang crossover in 2023 ay sumasabay sa supply absorption during sideways trade na eventually nagtulak sa bullish rally. So anong ibig sabihin nito ngayon? Kung mapapansin natin ngayon, yung 1-year change sustainably moving above its moving average na nagbibigay signal ng renewed large-scale absorption again. At mahalaga ito dahil ang whale accumulation during choppy market ay madalas nagteset ng base bago pa mapansin ng crowd. Pangatlo, hash rate at infrastructure. Ang 30-min hash rate nasa around 0.99 zeta hash per second galing sa peak na 1.10 noong November 2025. Recently, parehong hash rate at price bumaba, pero importanteng maintindihan ang hash rate. Ito yung computational power na nagsisecure ng network. Kapag tumataas ang hash rate kahit sideways ang price, ibig sabihin may miners na nag-i-invest pa rin sa hardware at energy capacity. Parang sinasabi nila long-term kami, pero hindi sapat na hash rate lang ang tumataas. Kailangan din gumanda ang miner economics. Kailangan mag-stabilize ang hash price at bumaba ang miner sell pressure para masabing healthy yung expansion. Hindi yung napipilitan lang sila kahit tight ang margins. Pang-apat, corporate BTC treasuries. May report na nagsasabing nag-add ang treasuries ng roughly 43,200 BTC noong January 2025 at malaking chunk doon, around 40,150 BTC galing sa strategy. Pero pag zoom out, makikita na bumagal na yung corporate accumulation ng strategy since late 2024. Dati, peak monthly additions umaabot around 148,000 BTC noong November 2024 at 87,000 BTC noong July 2025. Ngayon, mas mababa na at yung last 30 increased parang marginal lang kumpara sa total na 1.13 million BTC held by public companies. Yung latest monthly net increase around 0.1% growth lang relative to total public company holdings. In simple terms, stable sila pero hindi sila yung engine ng bagong demand ngayon. At para umakyat ang BTC price ng mas malakas, mas helpful kung mas broad at mas accelerating ang treasury inflows kasi mas mabilis ma-absorb ang supply kapag slow. Ibig sabihin, maintain lang, hindi push. So yun lang ang crypto update natin for today. Thanks for watching again. Good luck and see you on the next video.